about one of the new couples, and this is the final couple that we get to meet on this season of Love After Lockup, and that is 23-year-old Bianca and Daniel. So Bianca, she is unemployed, and she's dating Daniel. He's 31 years old. He is serving time for aggravated burglary and a DUI, and he's been locked up for 4 years. And Daniel did not get out of prison until June, so that explains why we're just now being introduced to them like 4 or 5 episodes in this season. It definitely seems like Bianca is naive and does not fully understand what she's getting herself into. She was hanging out with a friend at a bar one night and they're drinking, and her friend offered to give her a ride home. And she did not realize her friend was as intoxicated as she was. Her friend drove up the ramp at the airport and ended up going right into a cement wall. And the friend, I don't know what happened to her, but Bianca, she was hospitalized and she ended up breaking her neck, and she is so lucky she didn't end up paralyzed or even dead from that incident. She ended up having to have multiple surgeries, and she has scars all over her body, especially on her neck. And when she had one of her surgeries, afterwards, she couldn't even talk for 3 months. She was even starting to think she would never be able to talk again. And then finally her voice came back, and that was very traumatizing for her. So the TV producers were like, okay, we know how traumatizing that was for you. Let's go ahead and re-traumatize you again and take you to the scene of the accident. Which was just crazy to me, because she was explaining that she purposely drives over an hour away to the next nearest airport because she's not willing to go to the nearest airport where that happened, because she just has bad memories. And then the producers were like, okay, you've been avoiding this place all this time, let's go. You know, they have to get their B-roll footage, and she ended up agreeing. But once she pulled up there, all the memories and feelings started flooding back. She had all this anxiety, and I felt for her in that moment, because I kind of been in a similar situation. I had an ex who passed away, and years went by, and it still hurt, but it started to get better with time. And once I went and saw his grave again years later, oh my God, all those feelings came rushing back like it was the day I found out. It was traumatizing, and I felt like that's exactly what she was going through. And she ends up getting in her car, and she's trying to calm down because she's on the verge of a panic attack. And the producer was like, oh, do you want to turn on your air conditioner and cool off? And I completely forgot about that. I've had several cast members tell me that it's so uncomfortable filming, because not only do they make you film for hours on end, but also, when you drive, you're not allowed to listen to the radio because they're filming, and you're not allowed to have your air conditioner or heater on because the noise it makes will interfere with the microphones and the cameras. They can't roll their windows down, so I definitely feel for the cast members who have to film in the hot summer heat, especially in certain areas of the United States. That has to be absolutely miserable. So after she left that spot, she went and picked up one of her friends, and this guy was like her bestie from high school. So she picks him up, and they're talking, and she's talking about Daniel and how he's about to get out. And she admits that she's not working, and she's actually pretty well off, or so she claims, because she ended up getting a settlement from this wreck. After this girl crashed, she ended up getting a whole bunch of money, and she said that she does not have to work, which I don't think is the smartest. Like, I could understand like maybe taking a break while you're filming, because that's like a job in itself. But if you're just completely comfortable not working for like the next year or two plus, then I think that's kind of irresponsible, because that money is going to go really fast, especially between two people not working. At least try to get like a small side hustle or something, or even a part-time job, so you can at least try to have some spending money, so you're not just constantly taking and taking, because money goes fast whether you know it or not. Here's the catch though. So Bianca got in this wreck where she almost lost her life from a drunk driver, and she needed to do something to help her heal. So she decided to start writing Daniel, who was locked up for a DWI, because she was trying to gain some understanding on why people drink and drive and take chances like this. And I hope maybe it provides him some insight, like how serious drinking and driving can be. Like, look what happened to his girl. But he... Talk about trauma bonding. You would think somebody who drinks while driving and has a history of this would be someone you want to steer clear from. It's like, instead of running away from the fire, she's running to it. And it's almost like, did you learn from the first time this happened? What I think Bianca does is she's one of those people that just tries to see the good in people instead of seeing the bad, and tries to be empathetic and understanding. But that can be dangerous, especially when you're messing with criminals like this. And Bianca, you know, she wouldn't tell us how much her settlement was. She said she's not allowed to disclose that, but she did admit she told Daniel how much money she got, and neither one of them are in any type of rush to get a job. And you know, Daniel's ears had to perk right up when he heard how much money she has. I mean, that's every inmate's dream, to get out and not have any pressure to work, and you can just stay at home and live off your girl's finances and not have to work. But I think they're definitely gonna probably have some issues being around each other nonstop 24/7 if neither one of them are working. So she's hanging out with her friend from school, and they're talking about Daniel and him about to get released. And her friend was asking her, well, where is he going to stay when he gets out? And she's like, well, he has to go to a halfway house. But he said, F that. He does not want to stay in a halfway house for more than a day. If they make him stay there long term, he's just going to leave. Which just tells me this dude has not learned anything whatsoever. If you're just going to say F it when it comes to the halfway house, you're just pretty much saying F it when it comes to your freedom. That's one of the main rules the judge is giving Daniel, and if he can't even follow that, then I don't know if there's much hope for Daniel. It's giving that he's very defiant and does not like to listen to rules. So Bianca's friend took the phone and tried to talk some sense into Daniel and said, okay, are you really not going to stay at the halfway house? And he's like, no, F that. And he's like, you know you got to stay at the halfway house. And he's just in complete denial. He's going to F around and find out how serious the judge really is about this. But you know, I'm kind of starting to doubt if this storyline is even authentic about him having to go to a halfway house, because I was looking at his Instagram, and right after he was released, one of his buddies was asking him where he was, and he said he was at a hotel. And then Bianca commented on under one of his posts and said, what? And he said, I'm hungry, will you cook something? And she said, come home. So obviously they're living together, and it sounds like he's obviously not in that halfway house. I looked it up, and there's no active warrants for his arrest, and he hasn't been arrested since his release. So it does not look like he was ordered to go to the halfway house then ended up dipping out, because if he did, then he would obviously have a warrant out for his arrest, if that was part of his stipulations from the judge. So that is pretty much it. He was getting an attitude with Bianca's friend, and Bianca's friend was not feeling him. He did not give him a very good first impression, which was a major mistake for Daniel, because if that's her best friend and the one that's in her ear the most, then that's the person whose good side you want to be on. I'm sure she really values her best friend's opinion, and he has the chance to make or break how Bianca sees her relationship with Daniel. And another thing that was a red flag to me was the fact that Daniel does not seem to have any sort of plans once he gets out of jail. Her friend was asking Bianca, well, does he have anything planned, like job wise, once he gets out? What exactly is he gonna do? And she's like, nope, I got enough money to take care of us. She doesn't seem in no rush or like it's a priority for him to get a job. But I kind of feel like if he's on probation or parole, that's gonna be something that they want. And even if she is like, okay, I got enough money for the both of us, as a man, he should still want to provide for his girl instead of just relying on Bianca to be his sugar mama once she gets out. And I'm sure he's really looking forward to that. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I did 4 years in prison. I was about to get out in a relationship. If I was taking it serious, I'd be trying to contact like my friends and family and try to find jobs and see like what's out there so I can just hit the ground running as soon as I get out of prison. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about Bianca and Daniel so far in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.